Welcome back to the O Hockey Show, you beautiful people. Thank you for tuning in for today's talk about the top 10 rated right defenseman in NHL 23. The game comes out on October 24th, which means it's like in 2 weeks and a couple days from today. So I'm looking forward to it, and I have some opinions about some of these rankings. So let's just jump into it with the number one pick, which is Cale Makar, and I am perfectly fine with this. 94 overall, top-rated defenseman, and he's the second best player behind Connor McDavid, and he's tied with Andrei Vasilevsky. So I like what they did here. I like how they kind of organized it like that for each position. Forwards, McDavid's the best. Defense, Cale Makar is the best. Goaltender, Andrei Vasilevsky. And then out of those three top guys of each position, they gave McDavid the one extra point to make him the best. Even though I don't think overall it should matter, it should worry about all the individual stats. But that's a whole other story. But I'm good with, let's stick with the actual topic conversation and say Cale Makar 94 I'm perfectly okay with. He's easily the best defenseman in the NHL right now. And I hate admitting that because, like, a year ago, I was like, I don't know. But now I'm like, yeah, he is. Cale Makar is definitely the best defenseman in the NHL. So 94 overall, I'm okay with. Good job, EA. Now, number 2, Adam Fox. Now, I think this is kind of interesting. I said a couple of videos ago that I do think Adam Fox is an underrated guy. People don't give him enough credit as he deserves. But is he really the second best right defenseman? I hate right defenseman because they change all the time. But is he really the second best right defenseman in the NHL? I guess if I was to look at this list, I would say, sure, he's better than the people that he's above. But at the same time, like, if I was doing my own fantasy draft or something, I would choose a lot of guys on this list than Adam Fox. So I'm okay with the 90 ranking. I'm not, like, the biggest fan of it, but I'm not against it. I don't think it's incorrect, but I just feel like it's a truth that I don't want to be true, I guess. Which is weird because I'm someone that is like, Adam Fox is better than people realize. And then here I am saying, like, I feel like he doesn't deserve it. So it's an interesting thing about his number. So 90 I'm okay with, but I feel like it's just odd maybe to admit that he's a 90. So, but I don't know. But now we move on to number 3, same rated at 90, is John Carlson, who I think he deserves this. I think Carlson, maybe in the grand scheme of things, really isn't a 90, but he is still a top defense in the NHL. And, I can't dispute that. I feel like maybe an 89 would be a better ranking, but 90 is solid. I think 90 is a good number for John Carlson. Not really anything I can say about that. I feel like it's just a solid number for him. So then we got number 4, Number 4, Charlie McAvoy to 89. Now, for me, personally, I've said that I don't really think that highly of Charlie McAvoy. I do think he's a good defender, but in the grand scheme of things, if you want to say, like, Fox, Carlson, and Makar are, like, if Makar's an A++ and these two are, like, A+, I'd give Charlie McAvoy just an A. I feel like, or maybe, I would even say an A-. Like, he's still a top guy, top defenseman in the league. And if you say, do you want him on your team? I would say, I guess so. Why wouldn't I? But for me, he's the type of defenseman that I don't care about. Like, they don't get a lot of points, and they're really, like, defensively minded. And for me, that just, I'm just not into that. So, I would just say, for McAvoy, 89 is fine, but it's just not, I don't really care, I guess. So, now we got Alex Pietrangelo at 89, which is incorrect. Alex Pietrangelo, I would be okay. In the last game, they gave him an 89, I think, and Shea Theodore was an 84. If in this next game, I don't know how they keep him at an 89. I do not understand. Alex Pietrangelo at this point, I would say, is an 87. I think an 87 would be good for him. He's still a good defenseman. He's a good defenseman, but he doesn't get a ton of points. And he's like, he is good defensively, but he's not like the best. So 89 is fine, but there's the guys below him. I mean, I feel like all the people below him, except maybe one or two, I would rather pick over him. So 89 is like not good. 87 is where I would put him. Now we got at 89 as well. We got Aaron Ekblad at number 6. So Ekblad really had a good year last year. I think it was his best season yet. So for him, an 89, I feel like kind of screws him over, especially since they like to tailor to people who have one good season. So for me, it kind of annoys me that Ekblad, after his best year yet, and the Panthers are just getting better, that an 89, like, I'm good with it, but I would have liked to see it at, like, a 90. I feel like a 90 for him would have been nice to establish him as a top defenseman, which he is. I mean, it's not like they're robbing him of being a top guy in the league, but 89 to me is just a little low. I feel like at 90, for me, like I said in my other ones, if you've been watching these, that the numbers, I feel like, kind of have stereotypes to what type of player these people are, and an 89 to me is, like, the type of player that, like, either if they have a good year, they'll grow up to a 90-91, and then they'll have a bad year after that. But a 90 is like a perfect number where it's like this person's, he's not going to rise or fall. They're going to 90 is like the most like solid number to me in the game. Like they're not going to really have a bad year or down year, but they're really not going to do anything that crazy. They're going to be pretty consistently good. So for me, Aaron Ekblad is 89 just kind of robs them. So moving on to Drew Doughty, who's also an 89, and this has got to be, I don't know what EA's fascination with Drew Doughty is. I don't know if it's because they don't want to like make the LA fan base mad or something, but Drew Doughty is not an 89 player at all. I don't know why they keep giving him these. Last season, wasn't it a 91 or something? Like, at one point, yes, of course, Drew Doughty was a top defenseman. But nowadays, like, he's still a good guy. He's still a top guy, but I give him like an A- to B+ now. And Drew Doughty, like, at one point, yes, was A+ defenseman. But nowadays, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know why they consistently keep giving him these top numbers, which he doesn't deserve. Especially for a guy like Chris Letang, who, yes, I know I talked about it the other day, and I was like, he's getting old and he's falling off, like, blah, blah, blah. And for me, Letang, just coming off of his best years, I would say is a better defenseman right now at least, than Drew Doughty, and he's an 88, which I think is insane. Like, they like to reward guys for having one good season with amazing numbers that make no sense. But when it comes to guys who have their best season ever after being a consistently good player, they decide to keep him at an 88, which, actually speaking, I'm okay with the 88. I would have liked to see him at 89. I reward him for his good year. I think an 88 is probably like the good number for him, like, over his career. But for right now, I feel like you could have rewarded him with his best season yet with an 89. But since he's old, he would drop off a little faster. So I feel like that would even itself out. And then at number 9, we got we got Dougie Hamilton with an 88 as well. Now, Hamilton had a fall off from moving from Carolina to New Jersey. So for me, this is kind of an odd number. I don't really think he's an 80. I think he's an 88, but he's on a team that didn't really perform very well at all, and he didn't really have a lot of opportunity to succeed. So it's an interesting case where it's like it's a case where the guy is probably an 88 player, but he's not performing as one, but that's just because his team around him isn't as playing well. So I think he might bounce back this year with New Jersey. So I think an 88 is fine. I feel like if you just look at his last season in a vacuum, you could say something like an 86. But as a whole, I think Hamilton probably is an 88. And then we've got number 10, Moritz Seider, who's an 87. Now, for me personally, I know, I hate giving people props for having one good season and then calling them great. But when you've got a young guy who had an amazing first year, not only that, but also won the Calder, and also as a defenseman on the Red Wings, who were a poor team, all of those combined factors, and you're going to say Moritz Seider isn't worthy of a higher number than 87. I'm glad he made it on the top 10 of Right Defenseman. And sure, I know EA they'll fluctuate the numbers through the season goes on. But an 87 for Sider, you're going to put him below guys like Hamilton, Letang, Drew Doughty, and Alex Pietrangelo. You're going to put Sider below those guys. And, I mean, Charlie McAvoy, I feel like probably would be an even number. I feel like an 89 and put him at the number 5 spot would have been perfect. I think that would have pleased people like me and also wouldn't have made anybody mad. So, I guess I'm okay with the number 87. But I feel like it is robbing him because he already is establishing himself as a top defenseman. So, for 87, I guess they can move it up and they can change the numbers. So 87 for right now, I guess, is okay. But just, okay, it's whatever. I don't care. Moritz Seider, 87, fine. I'm okay with it. So that's all I really have to say about the NHL 23's top 10 rated right defenseman. So I guess if you like this video, please pick up your free subscription by hitting that red subscribe button. If you like this video, leave a like, not a dislike, but go down below to the comment section and tell me how stupid I am for some of the opinions I had about Pietrangelo and Drew Doughty. Tell me down below, how stupid am I? So tell me all that down below, and until next time, thank you for watching. I've been your dapperly dressed host, Owen. Too sweet. I hope you're having an amazing day, and ta-ta for now.